Today is Tuesday, October 12th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Tuesday and happy Election Day. Hey, Titus, glad you could join. So, happy Election Day. If you live in one of the communities that has an election today, you have 2 hours and 43 minutes. Stop watching me, get in your car, go vote. If you haven't already sent in your absentee ballot, and if you did not already vote today. So, go vote. Couple of things I want to talk about. So I missed out on yesterday because yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day, and I attended a celebration for Indigenous Peoples Day in Oklahoma City. It was also National Coming Out Day and Mental Health Awareness Day. There's a whole bunch of stuff crammed into October 11th, but there's where we are. So last week and into this week, there's a whole lot of animation going on amongst Democrats because of a recent announcement. And folks are, in my estimation, not focused on the right thing. What we need to be focused on right now is that our current governor cannot stay. We cannot keep going with our current governor. And so that is what needs to be our focus. So yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day, Coming Out Day, and Mental Health Awareness Day. It's a lot. So I wanted to talk about how our governor weighs in on those issues that are very important. So Indigenous Peoples Day, as you know, from the moment of his inauguration, our current governor has been basically trying to subvert the sovereignty of our nations. We have 39 federally recognized tribes in our state, and over 100 documented Native Americans in our state, Native tribes in our state. And our governor has been intent on fighting with the tribes. And losing one lawsuit doesn't seem to be enough for him, because apparently we have a bottomless checkbook in our state. Not enough money to help people get broadband, but enough money for multiple lawsuits on the same thing. So the gaming compacts that he started fighting right out the gate, he's already lost that twice and he's still fighting. McGirt, he's already lost that, and now we're outsourcing to pay somebody to continue that fight. And whenever there's a fight, and this is how I approach my personal life, it's how I approach my life as the chair. Whenever there's a fight, I always wonder, what is the motivation behind the fight? Are you mad at me because of something I said right now? Are you mad at me because of behavior that continues after a while? Or are you getting something out of it? And so what does the governor get out of fighting the gaming compacts? Has someone else came into town and said that they would give the governor, our state, his cronies, some money if they were able to move their non-tribal casino into the state? Is that what's going on? I don't know. But you have to ask, why is he fighting that fight? And McGirt is an easy one. It's an easy fight. He's fighting that fight because it's a scare tactic. It's truly just there to scare folks, to create a boogeyman. If you have no policies, the best thing to do is to create a boogeyman. And that's what he's done with the McGirt case. And we saw that at his little speech that he gave in Tulsa about McGirt, where he didn't talk facts, he didn't talk numbers, he just talked big, hairy, scary Native criminal stories. And not only is that disgusting, but it was a scare tactic, and it was political and gross. All right, so that's Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm going to sneak one in because it makes me mad. He has been largely absent, at least for the last 6 months, on COVID. And then his handling for COVID before that was dismal, right? He's the first governor to contract COVID. He spent $2 million on hydrochloroquine that we didn't use at all because it wasn't the approved medication for that. He spent $2 million on masks that we didn't get. We got less than $200,000 worth of those masks. Where are our press conferences? Where are our updates? Where is he talking about COVID? as it's still affecting. Thank God the numbers are going down. The number of newly contracted folks, the number of deaths haven't tapered yet, but the number of folks who are contracting COVID has gone down. And so I'm glad that it's basically resolving itself, or it's actually resolving itself as a result of policies that have been put on a national level by President Biden. And then there's HB 658, which said that no local municipalities or school boards could enforce mask mandates. And we saw how dismal that was. Now, how does that fit into Indigenous Peoples Day, Mental Health Day, or National Coming Out? I know for me and folks that I hang out with, and for our first responders, they are tired. They are mentally drained. I am tired and mentally drained from the, are we in COVID? Can I go around these people? Can I not go around these people? If we would just get it under control, we could all kind of move forward. So that's kind of how I snuck it into mental health. But one that is directly related to mental health is the explanation that the governor gave for his field trip to the border was, I'm going down there because of the opioid epidemic. Now, let's be clear. There is an opioid epidemic that is negatively affecting Oklahoma in a large way. It's not why he went down there, but here's a fact, and here's a fact, and he's just trying to make you believe that they are connected. Because if he really cared about the opioid crisis, we would have seen some policies out of him before now. We haven't. He's not even giving speeches on them. He's not talking about the opioid crisis at all, unless he needs an excuse to take a field trip down to Texas and look all tough on a boat. We're not, we won as a state a lot of lawsuits because of the opioid crisis. We're not spending the money on treatment. His words and his actions don't match. And then I just want to throw out the fact that, our anti-trans legislation is so bad that national organizations have decided not to do business with us. So when I say focus, instead of focusing on, which candidate came out lately, what we're doing, blah, 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 what I think we need to focus on is that we need to pick a candidate, and we need to focus on helping whichever candidate we pick, because we've got to beat Stitt. Instead of tearing each other down, instead of Democrats fighting about who is the most Democrat, who's the biggest Democrat, we need to focus on the fact that we need a new governor. And so I'd like for you to take that focus and pick a candidate, or find a candidate, or be a candidate, and then support that candidate. Whichever one you decide, you got to support that candidate. Typing away on Facebook. It helps if you are amplifying the message of the candidate that you support. If the candidate that you support is putting out a message that you think, my gosh, if my friends and neighbors knew that my candidate thought this, they would vote for him, share that message. If you're just on Facebook, gabbing away about how mad or happy or whatever, you're really not helping. We need you to help. Amplify the message of the candidate that you support. Amplify the message of the candidate that you support. Don't worry about my decision making, because I'm only one vote. I truly am just one vote. And I will make my decision of who I'm helping, who I'm supporting after the primary. I will make my decision. But really what you need to do, because all of our vote is our own personal sacred right, is you need to help your candidate by amplifying their position rather than tearing down the other candidate, rather than getting into a debate about the other folks around here. We have to register folks to vote and encourage them to vote for the candidate that you support, or give them the information and let them pick. But the best use of our time is supporting candidates right now, or deciding to run. Still not too late to decide to run. All righty. So that's about the governor's race. Right now, there are two Democrats who have announced. Nobody's filed yet, because that doesn't happen until much later. But there are two announced gubernatorial candidates on the Democrat side. We have one announced candidate for U.S. Senate. The governor's race is not the only thing that's going to be on the ballot. We have two candidates for governor. We have one announced candidate for U.S. Senate. In 3 of our 5 congressional districts, we have announced candidates. So we have in Congressional District 1, that's Tulsa Wagner Rogers. We have Adam Martin and John Swoboda. In Congressional District 4, we have Mary Brannon and Aaron Dossie, who are announced candidates. And that's from about Midwest City down to the border. That's CD4, a little bit. It's all of our military bases, CD4. That's where CD4 is. And then CD5, that's Oklahoma County, Seminole County, Pottawatomie County for right now. We have an announced candidate in Abby Broyles. So there are candidates. And then we also have a bunch of state house and state reps and county commission races where folks have announced. Folks are giving speeches and fundraising and dropping lit and doing mail already right now. Thank goodness. Find a candidate or two to support right now. We've got to focus our fight there. We got to focus our fight on helping someone win rather than lamenting about how the party didn't do this or how we wish we had another candidate. Candidate recruitment is a team effort. I am open to whatever help. Everybody in the party, we're open to whatever help. If you know somebody who you think, man, they don't have Alicia's number, so they probably aren't running, give them my number or give me their number. I'm glad to have a conversation. We need to be running now. We need to be running right now. All right, it is 4:30. If you haven't voted and you have an election today, you have 2.5 hours to get out there and vote. And then this Saturday, October 16th, the party is putting on a business and personal safety, protecting yourself seminar out at the Plumbers and Pipefitters Union Hall on Southwest 44th Street. It's 4337 Southwest 44th Street in Oklahoma City. We have a retired Secret Service man coming to talk to us about protecting yourself and those you care about at work. I hope to see you there. I will be there. As you notice, I kind of look like that guy. I will be there. Hope to see you then. But before then, I will be back here tomorrow at 4:30. You guys have a great one.